happy that you're doing the film. I think more, not so much for others, but I think for yourself. For me, it's that. I think it's. I mean, even if tomorrow you show it to, I think an insider's perspective is always very much more authentic. I think it gives a different feel altogether. So on any matter, I think an insider's perspective is very valuable. But I think also as a part of your own journey, the introspection, I think it's I think it's a growth process. It's part of a journey, and I think it's, yeah.
I think it's very relevant because you are adopted and you have seen probably the best side of an adopted child, in my opinion, and there are lots of bad things which are possible through adoption, lots of ways it can sour. And you've seen that through your exposure to other children, you've seen a lot of other ways it can go, and hence you have a perspective on it which is quite valuable. I think you can bring a lot to the field of adoption through a positive experience that you've had.
I think at the end of the day, family is about love and trust, and being adopted or biological are incidental, but they come up, and I think in our context, it's basically come up within the larger social context, where like if someone is doing a book or making a film or, you know, it's only then
it's
that
never really
it's never come up among us.
Yeah.
Exactly. Though I'm sure, I mean, like this is where I
that's
want
thanks
input.
to the fact that it did come up when you were so small that it's become such a normal part of our lives. So it was never a shock to anyone. There is something which is not the normal way children are made, but that can be either a very positive, very happy thing, or it can be a negative, hidden, secret thing. In your case, it was something which you were also happy about, and something which brought so much joy to all of us that it was a celebration. And it's always been like that. So maybe that's why you say we've never thought about being adopted apart from when it comes up in a social context. Because for us, it's the same thing. I mean, didn't really know how I was born, but I know my sister came as a rain child and she was really kicked about it, whatever. That's what I remember.
How do you know she was born on the 26th of July?
Because the hospital maintains records. I mean, they have papers for every baby that's born. They note the time and all the details.
Oh, that's how you get the birth
weight.
certificate.
That's right.
And that's why you can't cheat the birth certificate.
No, you can't. That's right. You need it for going to school also, and we've been very slack, haven't we? We still haven't collected Rabia's adoption deed. It's an important because then we are...
What will you do?
No, they won't do anything.
They won't
because
give me an injection, what I hate.
No, they won't give an injection. They just give a paper saying that Amit Jairam and Kirti Jairam are now your parents.
The moment you recognize that the child is an independent being which is going to go its way and is not going to fulfill your dreams, then I think it makes very little difference whether it's adopted or it's your own child.
What was it you used to call yourself?
Rain child.
Rain child. That's what I remember. The first day you found out, I never forget, you were jumping with your arms up, I'm a rain child.
It wasn't her saying. Amit had the story of the rain child. He'd made this little story which he used to tell Tarun before you came, of how there was this little rain child that had been made for us, and we had to find this rain child, and then we finally found the rain child in the hospital. But then at 6 weeks we were going every day to the police station to get the clearance. So that was, but there was this whole thing of, so you were the rain child that came. See, there are two things that I remember very well. One was, I think both Amit and I had no issues about adoption at all, and we were very clear that this was our decision, and we were not going to discuss it with anyone else. So that was easy. Second thing was that we were very clear that you absolutely had to know that you were adopted. So that was, and there I remember that this rain child story and all was more for Tarun's benefit, because you were a little rat. So you were not going to, but he had to know where this. But then I remember once you grew up and you were about 3-4 years old, the rain child story started, being losing its, And at that point, I remember consciously from time to time, every now and then, very gently bringing in this idea that you were made in another mama's tummy, that you were actually meant for us, and we had to really go looking around. And that also happens sometimes, you know, that these mistakes get made. And so you got born in another mama's tummy, but you know, you were actually meant for us. And this from time to time, I think till you were about 4 or 5. After that, there was no need, because you had already absorbed the idea, and it was a complete non-issue.
Yeah, no.
Because I think at that age, it doesn't matter. But I remember that you used to love shocking people. Because I remember one of your didis from Mirambika, I can't remember whether it was Sulochana or Vijay or somebody, who rang up, who sent a message and said that I want to talk to you, and Amit and I were wondering what had happened. And she said, it's nothing, but you know, Rabia is going around telling everyone that she has 2 mamas, you know, and you know, she's telling everyone. And I said, yes, she has. And she got such a shock because they didn't know, you know. But for you, it was like one-upmanship, you know, you only have 1 mother, I've got 2, you know, it was at that kind of thing. So that I remember very clearly. So how many mothers do you have? I have 2 mothers, you know, like that. But I don't think you really absorbed it in that sense at that age.
But I remember as an older brother that you did suddenly start wondering, like, oh, I have another set of parents. So it went through that thing of, is it exciting? My belief is very clear. I believe genetics are not even 50% of it. Okay? I really believe that the upbringing is everything. Like, adoption is a very formal word, but in our society there's always been this space for the runaway child to go to a dhaba and work in the dhaba. The dhaba guy becomes his parent. And that kid grows up there. And his value system, everything is from there. So like that, if you grow up in a system, a value system, a family, you get so much from that family on a daily basis that your genes and your makeup are, I mean, okay, your hair color and your skin color, but they're really not who you are in any sense of the word. So that way for me, I am clear about the fact that it makes no difference.
But what I remember is when you were in class 4, no, when did you shift to mothers? 4 or 5. And you came home one day, and of course every day when you came home you had to tell me what all happened in school kind of thing. And then you said, Amma, if Tarun and I both fall together and get hurt, who will you go to first? And I thought, what an odd question. This is not a question a child asks. So at that point I was a little stunned. Then I said, how do I know? I mean, how do I know who I'll go to first? I don't plan and this thing. I mean, I don't know.
Simple answer. Chotu hai to chotu ke paas jaoge na pehle.
Anyway, I said, I don't know, but I told Amit, I said, look, this is very weird. Where is this question coming from? And so we went to the school and I said, look, you know, some strange questions my daughter's asking. So where are these questions coming from? And she said, oh, actually someone's doing research. And they were questioning, and we were quite upset because we had not been asked or no permission and all that. And then of course the teacher made it even worse, because to try to make up, she called you and she said, Rabia bache, you know, adopted children are just like normal children. So you promptly came back home and said, Mama, you know what my teacher said today? कि adopted बच्चे बिल्कुल normal बच्चों की तरह होते हैं and all that. And we decided just to totally ignore it at that time, because we thought अगर हम वापस जाएंगे तो फिर पता नहीं और कुछ होगा. So, but in a sense, it didn't even, register. I mean, it was not even part of conversation. We just took it very lightly. That was one. And then I think when you grew older, someone was doing a film on adoption. Someone wanted to do a film when you were about 14. You would remember that too. And that was the stage when I said no. Because I felt that at that stage you were really searching, and you'd asked a couple of times that who's my real mother, and I remember once feeling, you'd said that why did she leave me and things like that. So I felt quite sad about that, and I think one was sharing your journey in that sense, and I didn't think that was the time for you to and do that film. Somewhere down the line, or maybe it's just a creation in my head, but for me, Rabia Al-Adabia was someone I admired, but it was also this connection in my head. The name had something to do with God's gift, and I make that connection with Rab. So I felt a lot of things happened, you know. I mean, we went to Srinagar, then all these clothes just arrived, and also how we went to Srinagar, and that day there was total hartal, there was no transport. We managed to get an auto, and from the airport we went to the farm, which was other end, in an auto. And then, you know, it was just the whole experience was, but it's been quite a wonderful journey, I think.
Have it pull as hard as you can with this. Are you coming?
When I was in my teens at one point in time, thanks to television and serials, I suddenly got curious about who my biological parents are. And I sat my mother down, and mother and father, and began asking questions and wanting to find out. However, at a very deep conscious level, I never really wanted to know. I still don't. You know, I mean, yeah, of course, if you tell me that Bill Gates is my father, then, you know, it might be interesting to be a millionaire's daughter. But other than that, you know, I really don't want to know. Because the fear of, I mean, for me, I have a mother, I have a father, I have a brother. This is family.
Did you ever think about why your biological parents, say, abandoned you or left you?
Yeah,
Did you
I
ever
did.
think about that?
I did. I definitely thought
So
about.
how did you rationalize?
Different people have different circumstances. I never had anger. I never had regret. I never felt how could they do this to me. Or first of all, there is no they for me to really identify with. So I can't really blame it on someone. There's no picture. There's no, you know, there's not somebody I can think. And somewhere I just feel that everybody has their circumstances. And I mean, this is something I also want to share with lots of children and other adults who are looking or have this great regret or anger towards their biological parents, is that what is it that you're looking for from them? Knowing who they are or them telling you why they had to leave you, how is it going to change your circumstances, or how is it going to make you feel better? Maybe I have something to offer, to share my experience, and to maybe question why do we search for blood connection. I think in my adult memory, your book release was like the first it was like the first time that I actually, possibly in a public forum, experienced that, oh, I'm adopted.
When I was, thinking of adopting, there were lots of, issues that came up. Similar issues like, okay, if you can have a biological child, why should you want to adopt? Which itself I questioned, that why should somebody only adopt when you can't have a child?
So why, yeah.
Why should it be? Anybody loves children can, care for children at home like your own, and it shouldn't make a difference. So that was a notion I started questioning, and I said, why is it? Why should we do it like that? Why can't we do it differently? And often, in public spaces like going to the ration shop to get your ration card, it was such a strange thing. There were lots of people who collected there saying, अरे इनका तो अपना बच्चा है, फिर इनने गोद लिया. ऐसे दोनों अपने हैं. एक को गोद लिया, एक को पैदा किया. But बच्चे तो दोनों अपने ही हैं. So the terminology people used, all of them were like a bit strange, because I felt one needed to talk about those issues. There were so many parents who, even after they knew I was researching this, I myself was an adoptive parent, they would tell me, why do you want to talk about this? Why is it important to us? We should forget about it. It's not something that we should. I said, it's fine for us to forget about it, but it may also be need for the child to know something, and let it be their right, and especially if they do come to know through another source.
That's the thing.
They will feel as if you've hidden something so important from them, which is their truth, their reality, and you have to put yourself in their position to understand what it feels like. So, no, everything can be won over by love, give lots of love. I said, no, trust is so important. It's not only love.
That is the thing.
Because once they feel, if you love somebody, you trust that person.
Totally. That is the
You
most
do
important
tell
thing.
them, and it's especially if it's a truth about themselves. It's not about X, Y, Z.
I mean, I've heard stories from Mama saying that ek bari I think asked her that Siddharth came out of your stomach, how did I come out, or something like that.
That's right.
Something like that. So I also want to come out of your tummy. So maybe, I mean, I must have felt, I don't know why these questions came up, but I personally never felt कि मुझे अलग treat करते हैं. I mean, sometimes I did ask कि तुम सिद्धार्थ को तो डांटती नहीं हो, मुझे डांटती हो, because he is your son and I'm adopted. I mean, I did use. I never felt it. I just
but you
used it, which is,
You did.
I don't know if, yes, I did.
That's good.
But
That's very good.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, they
Point.
never made me feel, nor did Siddharth.
Yeah,
But and it
because
was
you
not
are-
Siddharth's fault. It was just, I don't know if I don't know why I said it,
Yeah.
but I did. I mean, let's be counseling here, no, at home.
So yeah. So
So
what
I
is
used to say, I don't know why they used to come home, but yeah, Mama used to be there, and she used to, I don't know why, always call me. Priya, tum aa jao, zara inhe bata do. I was like, after a long conversation, of course, with
what
the
is that
parents.
like?
all that the parents wanted to know from me directly was हम अपने बच्चे को बताएं about adoption. That
So
was
do
the
you
main
think
thing, and I used to
disclosure
say
is
yes,
important?
always yes, and I said as early as possible. So they were like, but problems नहीं होंगी. I said problems तो वैसे भी होंगी. But still, it's better to tell rather than hide. And later, as Mama said about trust, I mean,
Yeah.
don't do that to them. Finding out from another person.
I used to always tell her, actually there was a time when there was a period when this whole issue of real, you're not my real mother. Somebody said you're not my real mother. So the term real was often played out. What is this real? What does it mean to be a real mother? So it was very interesting that we had friends, who we considered like Srinivasan would consider like his brother, or I would consider like my sister. So I would always tell her that so and so, he's so close to us. We can't celebrate an occasion without having them around.
Not
We
family.
can't. They're just there to be with us. They're not related to us by blood. Are they not real to you? Are they, distant? What does it mean? So then she started thinking about it. And she started saying it doesn't mean much. So it's not that relationships they may be to do with blood, but they may not. And yet you construct them. And then also the fact that, see, Appa and me are so close. Are we related by blood? They are related by a legal bond. We are related by a socially constructed bond, which is of a husband and wife. So what stops somebody?
I never thought of it like that.
What stops somebody else from constructing another kind of bond? Saying that you're my daughter, you're my daughter. I say it, I take an oath, I declare it publicly that you're my daughter. So how does it make a difference? And the second I'll never forget was when she started calling me auntie. You're not related to me by blood. I will not call you mama anymore. You are going to be auntie. And anybody came into the house, she said, auntie, can I go? Auntie, can I? What?
Oh no.
But I said, I was very clear that I'm not going to be blackmailed by her. But my chance came very quickly. Very quickly. She started sleeping in a separate room. So she would at night maybe get some nightmares or whatever. And she'd start crying, Amma, Amma, Amma. So one day, and I would go and then get into bed with her and sleep next to her, calm her down. Then one day I said, Priya, I think we should start calling out auntie. Because now I'm kind of getting completely disoriented. In the morning it's auntie, at night it's Amma. So I think tomorrow if you call out, Amma, I may not come. Because I might think who's calling, this doesn't sound like Priya, she calls me auntie, so all that. Next day she was absolutely back to Amma.
Oh God.
But she was
That's
a
the
rogue.
classic one.
Really a rogue. Complete
You're too smart for me.
Nah.
That's all.
I think it is far more to do with this whole westernized notion of identity. Where identity is no more this familial identity or a collective identity. It's much more the individual I self. I need to know who I am. I am like this. I will do it in the way I like. Versus, ठीक है मम्मा बोल रही है कर दो तो ठीक है आज कर लो ऐसे कल ऐसे कर लेना. It doesn't matter. कोई फर्क. So now we're somewhere in the middle of that. Where, like I said, she could say that you are auntie. But when I told her that, okay, now stop calling nani nani, call her badi auntie, call her so and so, call her so. She said, no, you will be auntie, but everybody else will be who they are. So you still see that collective, which is the larger collective, but you're questioning your sense of I, self, separate to the person who's right there. I don't think today I can tell a parent that don't tell the child. What are you going to say after that? Because the whole truth is built one after the other. Somewhere, sometime somebody will come to say, then what are the answers you're going to give?
You have to know that at this point you have your parents who have done everything for you, who have brought you up. You know, they are your family. So just acceptance from the child's side, and from the parents' side, acceptance that yeah, there is no difference.
And let me tell you, Rabia, again, that this is your story and her story and my story.
Yeah.
There are many, many stories. And like I said, I've kind of taken along at least 200 different stories. And some of them are not so nice. Some of them are not, so self-assuring. So,
And why does that happen for the parents?
no,
Or because of the child?
like I said, no, it's not to do about just biology and adoption. There's so many other variables that come in the way. Do all biological children behave like this? Do all adopted children behave like this?
At the end of the day, life is in
there
the
are-
shades of grey.
Exactly.
I'm 30 now, but about 10 years ago, in my early 20s, and till I was like 22, 23, I was very adamant I didn't want to adopt.
Why is that?
Because I was very keen to have a child who looked like me. Okay? I have never seen anybody in this entire world who has any resemblance to me. Yeah? I mean, the off coincidence or the offshoot thing is always there, but no legitimate person who looks like me. So I was very clear that I will not adopt because I want to have children who look like me. Plus, I always felt that, I think my parents are really marvelous with the way they've dealt with the numerous questions I've had, or the way I go around flaunting around that I'm adopted, or I've done interviews for films and things like that. I'm making my own film. But I'm not so sure how I'd be able to handle that. If my child went around making this film or telling everybody, I always thought that maybe I may not be able to handle that. But I think now, over the last couple of years, I'm very clear that I do want to adopt. Because I feel somewhere that it's really about love and nurture and care. And that's what makes a family, And I have not experienced any difference being adopted vis-a-vis my brother, or vis-a-vis having a absolutely perfect childhood and loving family and growing up. That I also feel there's so many children in this world who have no home. And today I'm able to look at it in a different perspective also. That I feel blessed that I was adopted and I had a chance of such a beautiful home. So I think all said and done, adopting for me personally would be a very great challenge and something I really want to do.
But one thing I know, that you were so tiny that all the doctors in the hospital really loved you, and they used to
Carry me.
how?
Like this.
Yes, and they used to fight with each other. One doctor used to say, I'll carry Rabia, and another doctor would say, I'll carry Rabia. And then finally when we went to the hospital and took Rabia away, they all